Hey look, it's me, talking about Dragon Quest IX over on RPG Archive. What am I holding up? A strategy guide on Dragon Quest IX on RPG Archive. Well, I'm here today on my channel, Majora, to talk about that strategy guide. For those who are unfamiliar, I do love me some good Dragon Quest. Today is actually the 30th anniversary of Dragon Quest V. Happy 30th! It's a great game. You should play it. Dragon Quest IX was pretty good. I had some good opinions on it over on Spencer's channel. So go check that out either now or later or whatever. But it's worth checking out. The guidebook is also worth checking out. I have a lot to say on it. I found it useful and I want to tell you why. If you like Dragon Quest, be sure to subscribe. This is not the last Dragon Quest book I'll be covering. Coming soon. The guidebook has several sections that I would like to cover. Gameplay, vocations, walkthroughs, side quests, multiplayer and DLC, bestiary and appendices. Not the ones in your body, the ones in the book. So let's start with gameplay. A lot of this is straightforward. However, Dragon Quest IX is unique in that it has layers to the way that you play the game. So like there's like a alchemy pot that you use to enhance your items. There's abilities that you can use on screen. There's magic, there's, defense, there's tactics. So, I mean, if you're not familiar with like some of the later Dragon Quests, it's worth reviewing a couple of those pages to see what the difference is. The only thing is that even if you just play the game, you'll get a feel for them anyway. It's just nice as a reminder. Let's say you forgot, I got to go to the inn in, one of these early towns, Stormbridge, I think that's what it's called, to go use the alchemy pot. Well, okay, there you go. It's in the book. So gameplay is nice for a novice, somebody new to Dragon Quest. And I can understand this being somebody's first Dragon Quest game. I could see that. Literally. With my mind's eye. You know what else I can see? I can see myself changing vocations a lot in this game because it's offered to you and you kind of have to if you want to really kick ass in the game. From the start, you don't necessarily pick your hero's class, but once you get to the town where you register new members, you can pick from a variety of classes like priest, warrior, minstrel, mage, thief, etc. This is helpful in probably the most helpful part of the book and the thing that I kept turning back to because it really outlines every class. So with classes, you have skills that they can allocate their skill points into. There's like 5 skill trees. Some of those carry over between classes, which is something you can change later in the game. And you don't lose your progress in this one. It's just that you can take some of the things you already learned and apply them to the new classes. So let's say that you have a warrior who is well versed in a spear. You can then take him and make him a paladin because you know that the spear carries over. The skill trees, there are 4 of them for weapons or the shield, if the class qualifies to use a shield. And there is a vocation exclusive skill tree that also carries over. Why would you want this? Because it provides bonuses to your attributes, plus 30 health, plus 10 strength, plus 20 magical might. And if you want that for the class that you're going to change over to, it's helpful to know these things. Also, this outlines the levels at which you will learn certain magical skills if you're like a mage or a priest. When will you learn Kafriz? When will you learn Oomph? Well, it's worth knowing, and the book outlines it pretty specifically. Also, a couple of these classes are locked behind quests, which we'll come back to, and this section clearly tells you where to go in the book to figure out how to unlock the mysteries and the secrets of this class. The walkthrough. I consulted this quite regularly, actually. I kind of enjoyed going through the walkthrough as I was playing the game. I found it almost necessary at a couple points because Dragon Quest IX has an overworld and it's not like it really explicitly tells you where to go every time. At one point you have a ship and they're just like, go. And it's like, where? And so I actually liked looking through the walkthrough to tell me where to go on the overworld. And it saved me some time. So I genuinely appreciated looking through the walkthrough for that. There are a couple good boss guides in here. Not all the bosses are that difficult, but some of them may give you a run for your money. And it's worth knowing what are the strategies to defeat their strategies. They might get 1 or 2 turns, and they might use them in ways where they like disrupt your buffs and then get some on themselves. And it's like, how do you combat that? Sometimes it's not exactly the easiest thing to consider. So I like to see what suggestions they have in the book. They're not all bad. There is a lot here content-wise. It starts at page 50 and ends just after 210, around 218. So over 160 pages of walkthrough. And you should use it. You should also use the section on side quests. There are 2 sections here, challenge quests and treasure maps. Challenge quests 1 through 120 are contained within this book. 121 through 184 are DLC quests that I guess were not available at the time of the Brady Games strategy guide, and so they have a little note that says, check back later for information on the DLC. So it's fine because most people are not going to play the DLC anyway in this day and age. You can, Spencer outlines it on his channel, so it's worth checking out. But you do need some of these challenge quests in order to unlock the vocational, different vocations. And so I found that necessary. You don't have to get these vocations. You could play through the game without getting any of them, but it's more rewarding if you do. For instance, would you rather just have your level 40 warrior or take the skills that you have on your warrior and then apply them to a gladiator and make them a badass and hit super hard? Would you rather have your minstrel stay a minstrel or suddenly become a luminary in the post game and then just super buff all your party stats? There's a lot of cool things that you can do just by unlocking some of the challenge quests, some items that are exclusive to the challenges, and it gives you some meaningful stuff to do after you've cleared the main game or even while you're clearing the main game. It's not all just about the main storyline, which is kind of mid anyway. The treasure maps I didn't mess with. In fact, I don't think this section was particularly helpful. You'd have to ask Spencer. I gave him the information that was in here about treasure maps. Honestly, it seemed kind of unnecessary. Multiplayer and DLC is a total of 4 pages. There's almost nothing on it. It just tells you how to play in multiplayer. If you want to see what are the benefits between playing with a host or as a guest, you can see that. And then also you can see what exactly can you unlock. I didn't use this at all. I've never played this game multiplayer. I don't think that this is probably something you could find in the manual. The bestiary is cool. It's kind of like a Pokédex for the Dragon Quest monsters. They have little biographies. They tell you their health points. They tell you where to find them. And if you're metal slime hunting, that's superb. The only issue is that if you want the best metal slimes in the game, it just says grotto, which is a multiplayer thing, and that almost has no bearing on which grotto contains them. The appendices have things like weapons, armor, items, alchemicon, spells, abilities, accolades. I didn't look at this at all. I found that everything else I needed was covered earlier in the guidebook. That's the Dragon Quest IX Brady Games guide, which I used to its fullest potential, and you can too. I like this book. I like having it in the collection. I wish the previous owner did not write their phone number on here because now I've smudged my fingers with Sharpie because I wanted to conceal it. Hopefully I did a good enough job at that. That's it for me. Thanks for watching. Let me know if you've used this guidebook or if you do use guidebooks and why. Cheers. Play some Dragon Quest. Pick one. They're all good. 6 is weird. See you later. And go watch the archive. It's really good. 3 hours of content, baby.